it is actually just down to 4 games now. So we're not in a scenario where we've maybe got 10 or 12 games left, and there's a lot of to and froing that can happen, and you can maybe pick a point here or pick a point there. It becomes very simple when there's only 4 games left. You have to win every one just to give yourself an opportunity. So we're in a situation where we need to win every game, and we know that might not be enough. But what it will do, hopefully, if we win the next 2 games, it might take it down to the last week of the season. I think the first goal on Saturday is going to be, crucial to probably how the game's going to pan out. And I say it to the players all the time how big the first goal is, because whether you're playing Champions League or in the conference, if you get that first goal, it gives you an opportunity to use a little bit of momentum and take it on and win the game. And we just need to make sure that we're the ones who score the first goal and hopefully take the points.
Is there any point when, even mentally at the back of your head, you start preparing for life in League One?
I think you've got to do. I think as a manager going into probably the last third of the season, especially when you're thinking about recruitment and the position that the football club has been in for since November really, since going into administration with the parent company. I think you've always got to think of different type of scenarios, what might happen and what might not happen. And from a recruitment point of view, you look at players who are out of contract and you're thinking, can they play in League One? Can they play in the Championship? And all them scenarios come through your head, and you have to work with them all the time. And that's what we've been doing as staff all throughout this period, to make sure that if the worst case scenario does happen, it doesn't come as a big shock to us. We can't really control that or affect that in a way. We can affect it by trying to win games. It becomes doubly difficult under the circumstances regarding losing points, and especially obviously losing some of the influential players that we have lost. That becomes difficult. But from our point of view, if we go about the next 4 games in the right manner, in the right attitude, hopefully pick up some wins, hopefully pick up some points. Come April the 28th, if there is any fingers pointing, I said to the players, just make sure they're not pointed at ourselves as a group. The statement that's come out today, I think it's just a sensible one really. I think obviously nobody wants that option, but if there isn't a buyer out there, then obviously they're just covering their backs in terms of that could be the last case scenario. I think if we had serious buyers out there to take over the club, then of course I'd be delighted to speak to them. I'd love to speak to them. At the end of the day, if they're going to come in, they want to buy the club, surely they want to know what vision the manager's got for them.
If it is to be League One, how much does that affect the vision that you had when you came in here?
Not so much. I mean, obviously nobody wants to get relegated, but I think when you weigh up everything that has happened, I think if it is worst case scenario, we find ourselves as a League One club next season, I think it then hopefully gives me an opportunity to do the job that I come in to do in the first place. Some opportunity. I will have a clean slate. Now, hopefully that will be the start of next season, regardless of what division. And that clean slate will basically give me an opportunity then to build a squad with the right balance, the right age, the right makeup. And what I mean by that is the right personalities. And hopefully, the Portsmouth fans will see that and jump on the back of that and be patient with it, and hopefully let it mature and build to what it has been in the past. It's difficult to give guarantees as a manager, but I think from my point of view, I think for every player that leaves the football club between now and the start of next season, my job is to make sure that every player that leaves, I bring a better player in than the one that's just left. And regardless of what that player earns who's left or what fee he goes for, I will back myself to make sure I bring someone in better. For me, that's that bit of excitement I've been hoping for and clinging for probably the last 6 months. For me, it's almost like a light at the end of the tunnel, because I get to do what I wanted to do, and it's like anything, sometimes it might taste that little bit sweeter in 18 months, 2 years down the line, if we did go down and we were fortunate enough to get back up pretty early. if there is an opportunity at some point in the future to get ourselves anywhere near the Premiership again, if we did manage to reach them heights, then because it took a little bit longer, it might taste that little bit sweeter. So, hopefully that'll be the case.